Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, you guys are gonna get to know all about me. I know that sometimes we could watch a lot of videos from different YouTubers, but sometimes we don't even get to know who we are watching. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about me and a little bit of my backstory, where I come from, how old am I, everything. So stay tuned. So yeah, starting off, my name is Fernando. That's what many people know me as. My first name is Herman, spelled German. However, everybody gets it wrong. It's pronounced Herman. Yeah, my last name is Madrid. So my story begins in Honduras. I was actually born in a small country called Honduras. For those that don't know, Honduras is in Central America. It is very beautiful. I mean, there's obviously good places and bad places to every single country. I was actually born very close to the ruins of Honduras. So I'll be putting a picture for you guys so you can see what the ruins look like on Honduras. I never actually got to go because I was actually pretty young, and my mom never took me because of how young I was. So yeah, I stayed there for 6 years, and then I came to the US. I came actually when I was 5, so I turned 6 as soon as I got to the US. When I got to the US, I got to where I am now currently in Indiana. Many of you guys know Indiana for the Indy 500, and that's basically the only thing that attracts people to come to Indiana. Let's talk a little bit about my education. So as you guys could probably guess, I spent most of my life here in the US studying. My first school, elementary school, I actually went to a little school called Harrison Hill. Harrison Hill went from 1st grade all the way up to 6th grade, and I did every single year. And I was actually pretty nervous to then go to what was middle school. I actually went to the school literally next door to the elementary school that I went to. That school was called Belzer Middle School. And Belzer Middle School only had 2 grades. It only had 7th grade and 8th grade. So it was a pretty short ride at that school. But yeah, and then to transition over to high school, which everybody was probably their worst nightmare, having to get ready to go to high school. I went to a high school literally next door to the middle school. So all 3 of the schools that I went to were next door to each other. I went to a high school called Lawrence Central. And Lawrence Central, funny enough, as soon as I graduated from Lawrence Central, they ended up adding something different to the school. They started construction and they started making new additions. So yeah, funny story, I guess. Yeah, I actually studied all 4 years. All 4 years. Yeah, I actually studied all 4 years at that high school. I did my freshman year all the way up to my senior year. And I actually graduated top 30 of my class. Nobody had explained to me what that was. So I was just as surprised as my counselor was when she called me into her office to tell me I was in the top 30. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. So yeah, that pretty much sums up education for me. I decided not to go to college. That was a personal decision that I took. I actually decided to work in the trades. That brings us over to the jobs that I've had. It's pretty interesting because I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually a Latino. I'm Hispanic, and in our ethnicity, you would say, I'm a Hispanic, and in the Hispanic community, well, I don't know about everybody, but most of you guys, if you are Hispanic, you're gonna understand. They make us work very early on in our life. I actually started working when I was 7, and many of you guys can say many different things about that. But my parents did it to help me, and that's how I take it. I don't take it as any other way. So I was actually starting very young. I actually started working in concrete when I was 7 years old, which is a pretty crazy story. Many of you guys could be like, why is a 7-year-old working in concrete? But hey, I feel like that helped me. It helped me build my character. It helped me become a very strong person, a very strong, independent person. And I thank my father for it, actually. My dad was actually the person that helped me get started into working. And I thank him for it. That made me who I am now. And after I started working in concrete, I actually got into construction, framing. Framing, I feel like that was probably my favorite out of all the jobs I've had. Just to list off a couple of the jobs I've had, I've done roofing, I've done construction, framing, stick framing in particular. I did dish. I installed dish antennas for like TVs and stuff. I also worked in carpet, flooring, drywall, finishing, electricity, plumbing, you name it. Painting, remodeling in general. I've done it all, basically. And I feel like that I have to give props to my parents. My mom and my dad, they were very supportive, and they always pushed me into learning different trades. So what I would say is, if you're looking for a job to have and you're not in college right now, I would say get into the trades. It's definitely a decision that you have to take. Nobody can force it upon you. However, I feel like I would never change anything in my past because it made me who I am today. So yeah, talking a little bit about my hobbies now. A little bit about me, the hobby-wise. I always liked doing origami when I was small. I feel like that's one of the hobbies that I had since I was very young. I used to do all kinds of origami. I think I even have a couple of videos somewhere on my phone where I used to record myself making said videos and showing people how to make them, which I never even uploaded. I remember Christmas. There was this Christmas I remember, and I come from a family that's not the richest. We're a hard-working family. That's how I would classify ourselves as. And I remember there was this Christmas where my parents asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I know many people are spoiled and they ask for a car, whatever you want to say. There's nothing wrong with that. If your family can afford it, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're not taking it in the wrong way. So what I asked for, keeping in mind my background and that I come from a hardworking family, I asked for 10 pieces of origami paper. That's what came in a pack back in the day. So Christmas came around and my parents got me exactly that. The set of paper cost $10, I remember. They're pre-cut to size. They're perfect size for making origami. So that Christmas Eve, I was so anxious to open my present. I say present because it was only one. And I remember that when I opened that, as soon as the clock hit 12, midnight, and Christmas came, I remember when I opened that present, I was so happy when that happened. And I started running around the house saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, I don't know. I feel like part of my story is how my parents pretty much raised me. And I feel like that could help somebody. And that's why I'm making this video. Sometimes people ask me why I am the way I am, and I have to give props to my parents. They're the ones that have helped me through most of my life, actually, and they're the ones that have helped me become more independent, and they showed me how to do things which I probably never even thought I could do. So yeah, I thank them for it. So yeah, moving on now. Speaking a little bit about my family. I currently live with my parents, which might be surprising to many of you guys. Me being 23, yes, I still live with my parents. I actually told them that I was going to leave the house when I was 18, which is something crazy to me. Because now that I think of it, I think I was crazy back then. And I don't see myself living far away from them, far away from my parents. So yeah, I live with my mom, my dad, and I currently have two sisters. I love them very much. One of them is called Mary, and the other one is called Arlette. So yeah, that's a little bit about my family members. Let's speak a little bit about what I believe in. I know this might be very hard for some people to watch because some people easily get triggered when they hear something about religion. However, I don't consider myself a religious person. I consider myself a person that wants to have a relationship with God. I was raised in the gospel since I was 6, since I got to this country, and this is the place where I had my encounter with God. Many people might not want to hear this part of the video, but I feel like this is who I am. So this is why I'm going to express this part in this video. So yeah, I believe in Jesus. I believe that He died for me. He died for me on the cross, and He rose on the third day. And He wiped my sins away. He cleansed me with His blood. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Him. And all the glory and the honor goes to God. I was raised, like I said, in the church since very young, since I was 6. However, I don't feel like I had a true encounter with God until I was around 9 or 10. I remember I went to a concert where a band was playing, and I had my eyes closed, and I remember that day as if it were yesterday. I decided I was gonna seek God with all of my heart, closed my eyes, and I started praying. And I remember that in that day, I felt a burning sensation in my whole body, and that's what started my faith in Him. So, fun fact, my parents are actually pastors. They pastor a church called Lion of the Tribe of Judah. I'm going to be putting a video for you guys to see the church that I go to. Yeah, it's very demanding from this end, having to be a pastor's son. You have to walk very straight. You have to walk right. Not just to make them happy or please them, obviously, but because I want to be right with God. And that's what they've taught me. And I feel like they've done a pretty good job doing that and guiding me in the right path. And they pretty much taught me everything I know today. And it got to the point where I decided to leave it all. I decided to leave it all for God, and I took a big leap in my faith. And I decided I was going to stop working secularly and leave my jobs, leave everything I had learned, leave everything for God. And I know many people won't understand this video, but it's my testimony, it's my life, and I'm just expressing it so many people out there that may thinking about doing the same thing, so that you guys can also see the side that I had to go through, which isn't talked about so much. So yeah, I left it all for God, left the trades, left everything I loved and knew how to do, and I decided that I was gonna do everything for Him. Started working very hard at church, working with youth, working with kids, working with anything I could get my hands on at church. And it got to the point where I was anointed as a pastor. And that point in my life, I felt like it was God speaking to me, saying there was a greater demand upon me. So I haven't taken it lightly. There's a lot of work to do in the kingdom, for sure. And that's what we've been called to do. So that's a little bit about me. Leave in the comment sections. I want to hear your guys' testimonies. I know many times we're scared to write out what we've lived through, all the stories that we've lived through. And this might be a short video in compared to other videos that talk about other people. So yeah, leave it in the comment section. Leave in the comment section a story that you might want to tell, a story that you've been through. Tell me a little bit about you. I also want to know a little bit about you guys, about what you guys have gone through. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different than what I have uploaded before, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this kind of lets you guys know a little bit about who I am, where I come from, and yeah, my beliefs. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Peace. Let's do a cut.